Good morning, everyone. My name is MightyStream. I'm going to do your September the 17th Spiritual Principle Day in a meditation. I hope you're doing well this morning. September 17th, Hospitality and the Newcomer. Feeling welcome and welcoming others to our new way of life helps us see the world as a less hostile place. That comes from the Guiding Principles book, Tradition 3, Spiritual Principles. I don't remember many details about my first NA meetings, but I can tell you this. I left every one of them feeling a little better, a little more hopeful, and a little more convinced that you folks had found a way out, one that could work for me too, a member shared. Meetings still have that effect on me. And maybe that's the point of hospitality as a spiritual principle and practice in NA. It's not the individual things we do or say that are most memorable. It's all of those things taken together and the way we make each other feel. All of us can contribute to a group's hospitality, and all of us reap the benefits. Hospitality gives our various strengths a chance to shine. There are great huggers among us and others who remember the names of new members. Still others offer a sincere welcome to all of us every week, such as, I'm so glad y'all made it another week because I need each and every one of you. You might notice how the member charged with setting out literature always recruits someone to help them. Could they do this task alone? Sure. But we carry the message by being more inclusive. We help others feel a part of and affirm the same for ourselves. Each time we tell newcomers, welcome home, we're reminded that we're home too. Hospitality is made up of these words and actions and so many more. The atmosphere recovery that emerges is greater than the sum of its parts. Let me repeat that sentence. The atmosphere recovery that emerges is greater than the sum of its parts. We embrace the worth and dignity of each of our fellow addicts and of ourselves. Through our hospitable actions, we contribute to a world in which we are all treated with equality and compassion. I will contribute to the collective efforts that make up NA hospitality and consider how my words and actions can bring some of the same warmth and camaraderie to my life outside of NA. Let's take a moment of silence, followed by the we version of Serenity Prayer. Moment of silence now, please. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things that we could not change, the courage to change the things that can, and the wisdom to know the difference just for today. Please and thank you. Hospitality and the newcomer. Many of us can actually agree that when we first started making meetings, even though we weren't really that enthused about the fact that we even needed them or were sent to them, that there seemed to be a system that was at work. There were people that were showing up, doing things that would benefit other people that would show up later, or people like myself. There was always coffee ready. If there wasn't coffee ready, there was coffee being made. And there was something very nostalgic about going to the coffee pot, grabbing a styrofoam cup, usually like a 10 ounce or 12 ounce, not much larger, and pouring black coffee into that cup. And going back to my seat and looking around the room, the table, and seeing other people sipping from the same type of styrofoam cup as I was, with whatever they had added. There were some people, I remember this lady, oh my goodness, she would fill her cup up. She had to just put a little bit of coffee in it, half a cup maybe, And then she would fill the rest of it with sugar. And you could see the volume of the dissolved sugar increasing the height of her coffee. And it was without fail. I mean, it just seemed like she used so much sugar and had coffee with her sugar, right? But people would mix their coffee different ways. And we would sit down and begin this meeting on time. And we would go through all of the readings. Sometimes there was a dispute about who last read which reading and why do you always take this particular reading. Other people want to read the 12 traditions too. I don't know too many people that wanted to be bothered reading the 12 traditions on a regular basis because they're so long, but there were those people that would recite them and everybody's mouth would just fall open to the floor because they could recite how it works or the 12 traditions or any of the readings, as a matter of fact, by heart. And we would all sit there thinking, dumbfounded, and you actually use drugs and you have this potential? It was amazing, that moment. It was usually just an hour and a half. There were some meetings that had 2 hours, but generally just an hour and a half, no more than that, no less than an hour. And for that moment in time, we were in each other's world together. And we were acknowledging the pains and the victories of one another together. That's what I remember about my first meeting. And it made me want to come back. It made me want to come back and actually participate in creating an atmosphere of recovery. And so, quite frankly, I began to do service work pretty early on because I wanted to be a part of that. And so this spirit of hospitality, the spiritual principle, isn't all of the time what we do or what we say that other people remember. They remember the collectiveness, right? The spirit of inclusivity. You all know that, a lot of us are ex-criminals. And many of us have done things and served time for things that we're not proud of. We've recovered from, but we know we've left some serious impact on the families we've harmed. So to sit in a meeting and hear someone talk about drinking and driving and causing an accident where some people lost their lives and some people were physically injured for the rest of their lives would be considered physically challenged, and having to do time and having to go to court and having to listen to the victim's impact statement and choosing to continue to recover, not use drugs, and living through the survivor's guilt of that. I mean, there's heinous crimes that many of us have committed, and we're able to come into a meeting and be who we are and acknowledge who we are and still experience receptiveness and hospitality. And for some, a sense of forgiveness where people don't care what you did. We just care that you're here. You deal with what you did in your step work. But in this moment in time, we just are grateful that you're still here with us. That is a powerful meditation. And today, I hope that you will think about how you can contribute to the collective efforts that make in a hospitality and make it up, and how you can contribute. What can you do? I know what I'm doing. And believe it or not, the podcast is just a small little thing that I do on the side because I do it every day. Why not share it with someone else that might not even have a book, but they have their phone They might not even have a book to read it. A lot of people have just for today, but they don't have the spiritual principles today. This is just something I do on the side because I'm up anyway. I'm going to do it anyhow. And some people enjoy, they learn more listening. Some people can't even read. But I do a lot more outside of this, directly related to Narcotics Anonymous. And I'm so grateful to have the honor to actually do that. So today, think about, how do you contribute to the atmosphere of recovery? How do you contribute to the spirit of hospitality when newcomers walk in and say, maybe you know them from the block? Look, I have a husband that will not go to a certain town to do anything recovery related because he absolutely feels he's going to run into some ex-gang members. And that's his choice. But wouldn't that be quite powerful? To be at a convention and run into some people that you used to be on the block with? Making meetings? Be a part of the welcoming party. Be a part of that. It only takes a little bit of time and a little bit of effort to make our world a better place. My name is MightyStream. I've enjoyed talking to you today. Have a beautiful day on purpose.